I'm so excited for today's shoot. I think it's gonna be super cool today. Welcome to today's video. Like you can see, it's snowing, or it has been snowing, and like you can see, there's a little bit of mist in the landscape. It's gonna be a good one. Woohoo! It's still a small hour before sunrise, but I couldn't handle myself and stay in the car, so had to go out and explore already. There's also a big cloud on the horizon, so I don't think we have to expect any light soon. But this landscape, look at that, it's amazing. This is just an hour of driving from where I live, and the snow passed us like maybe 30-40 kilometers. I was hoping for a little bit of snow, but it didn't fall, so everybody was happy except me. So that's why today I came to this place. Today we are in De Teut in Deuneghem in Belgium, and I think I already found my first subject for this morning. I've made our first composition, and I'm shooting the two trees here in this landscape, and this pine tree has already a little bit of some glowing light from the sun on it, and that makes the contrast so cool, because in the back of the trees there's still a little bit of mist in the landscape because it's already disappearing a little bit, so I have to move fast, and also there's a slight chance we're gonna get a little bit of colors in the sky. I was hesitating if I would shoot the pine tree on its own or with this tree on the side. It's also a pine tree. And I decided to take a landscape orientation photo with the two trees in the photo. These conditions are so amazing because the bark is dark brown, and then you got the glowing light of the sun on it, or the reflection of the sun on this tree, and then with the white snow, it's so cool. I didn't think I was going to see some snow this year, but finally it happened. And I'm so happy. This is so nice. I can't put my tripod legs all the way in because the bottom side of the tripod is frozen. Trying to find some open places because I want to try to isolate some trees or the landscape a little bit and don't be stuck inside of a forest, because I think it's going to be harder to find some compositions. Instead of in the open landscape, we can find some trees with some beautiful snow on it. The camera is in portrait orientation, and I'm shooting this picture at f10 to get a lot of details sharp. And also there's a little bird here on a branch. The shutter speed is at 30th of a second at ISO 100. We were just shooting at this side, and then I've turned around. The camera is set up here, and I'm shooting a tree here in the landscape. But I was debating myself if I would first shoot this tree that I'm shooting now, or first. But with the light in the sky in the previous photo, it was a little bit better, so I decided to shoot that first. But with this tree here, just before we took the other picture, the sky was still a little bit of more bluish, and now it's all ready to start getting really light blue, a little bit of a too hard light already. I've put the camera in horizontal orientation because first I was thinking to shoot again another portrait orientated photo. On the left of this tree we got some trees a little bit further into the back, and that creates a little bit for depth of field. You can see those trees are a little bit further than the tree we are focused on. That's why I decided to put the camera in horizontal orientation. Now we got a little bit of an interesting element on the left side of this frame to draw our eye into this picture. On the bottom side of this picture we got just a small piece of heather in front of this tree that creates a little bit for a foreground element. It's so small and it's almost got the same texture as the tree, so it's almost like one piece, the tree and the header. But then with the trees in the back, that gives the depth of field of this picture to make it a little bit more interesting than it is. I had just packed everything, and now the sunlight is shining into the landscape, so I've put everything back and shot the same composition. But now we got a little bit of light onto the trees, and that changed the composition entirely. So this is looking way better than before. The trees in the back also got lit up. That makes the depth of field even better. So really nice for the sun to shine. The sunlight is changing everything. The landscape is totally looking different. I already got my eye on this tree here in the back when I walked past it, but it wasn't that great enough to shoot it. But now with the sunlight, it got even better. I got this little pine tree, this small Christmas tree in the right side of the frame to act as a foreground element. And our little tree is our main subject for this picture. When I was shooting this tree, there was a little bit of mist just behind that tree, and that made it separate from the background, because behind this tree we got another wall of other trees. They're a little bit too close to each other, but with the mist it just separated this little tree a little bit from the background, so that made it really pop out of this image. And I like this small pine tree in the front of the frame. It's also is lit up by the sun. This image is really like a winter wonderland, a winter landscape. It's so cool, so nice. I'm glad I came out today to shoot this landscape because it's amazing. And I shot this picture at f10, have everything sharp at ISO 100 at 80th of a second. And maybe you've noticed that our shutter speeds are a little bit higher than when I'm shooting other landscape photos. And that's because of the snow, because it's reflecting all the light. And when we are shooting landscapes with snow, we have to be careful to not underexpose our compositions, because the camera sees the white like there's a lot of light. So the metering system is going to tell you you have to go up with your shutter speed, and that can create for a false interpretation of the image. So keep in mind, when you're shooting winter landscapes, the camera doesn't always see the correct exposure. This is the spot, and I need to be careful what my next moves are going to be, because I have a tree here on my left side that I want to shoot with the Tokina 11 to 60 millimeters, and I want to create a sunburst with the sunlight coming through this tree. In the front of this tree there's some heather that's also lit up by the sun. I'm going to try to use that as our foreground element. There's also untouched snow in this area, so I don't want to destroy it and ruin this image for myself. So first I'm going to take out the camera, put the Tokina 11 to 60 millimeters on it, and then I'm going to look around to find the best place or the best composition for this photo, and then I'm gonna place the tripod and the camera on it without disturbing the foreground elements for this picture. It isn't super easy placing the tripod in this header because with the snow I cannot see where I'm placing the tripod. It wasn't stable, and so I have to really push the tripod into the header and into the land. I'll place my Tokina 11-60mm onto the camera to really capture the wide, beautiful landscape, and also because with this lens I can really create a beautiful sunburst, and we can create a sunburst when we go to f16 or higher. So I shot this picture at f20, and we got a really beautiful, nice, small sunburst in the top of this tree. And because we got some header really close to the camera in the foreground, I had to focus tag this image, because if I don't focus tag this image, the foreground will be out of focus, and I don't want to have our foreground really blurry, or if I focus on the foreground, our tree will be blurry. I focused on different points in this image, and in Photoshop I will blend those layers together and everything will be sharp from the beginning till this tree in the back. And for today's shoot I didn't make the plan. I just looked where there was snow in Belgium. For the rest I didn't make a topic for this video. I just wanted to go out and shoot and enjoy myself without needing to think too much about what I have to say and what I'm going to say. You're probably getting a little bit less information about photography, but sometimes we just need to go out and enjoy the landscape just like it is. Really love this tree, how it's lit up by the sun and covered with snow, and I think it's a little bit too cluttered to photograph this tree. I don't know, maybe I should try to make a composition out of it. I've placed my 50mm onto the camera. It's way too close to capture the whole tree, but it's close enough to just capture the bottom side of this tree and get the light trails or the sunlight leading our eye into this frame. I've placed my camera in portrait orientation because on the bottom here we got some sunlight and it's making like a little bit of a pathway to this tree, and that's, I hope, leading our eye into the frame to the tree. Maybe I'm thinking to also shoot this composition with the Tokina 11-60mm, the two trees against each other. Let's hope it turns out good. When I'm standing against those trees in person, and the light is so nice, and looking on the back of the screen, it doesn't look as nice than in real life. So I don't know if the 11-60mm is gonna be a good image or not. Put my Tamron 70-300 back onto the camera because I'm shooting a small tree a little bit further into the landscape. It's getting lit up from the side, and with the snow onto this little tree, it's a little bit glowing into this landscape. We got some trees in the back of this frame that's creating for a darker backdrop. With having that darker backdrop, the tree is standing out a little bit more because it's shining so bright, and then the darker background that creates for the perfect contrast make this tree stand out from the landscape. What a little bit of snow can do to a landscape. I'm seeing so much compositions. If I could shoot all day here. I've shot this picture at f8 at ISO 100 again and 250th of a second. The 250th of a second is because the light is shining so bright on this little tree. I have to bump up my shutter speed to not overexpose this image because we're already on ISO 100, so I cannot go lower with my sensitivity of the sensor. that are the trees from this morning, the first composition. It totally looks different with the sunlight shining onto these trees. What a landscape, what a day. It's amazing. Back into the car, sadly enough. I have to go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.